House of Gucci. Murder, greed, and glamour. The Porter at the Savoy. Milan, March 27, 1995. A crisp spring morning. A handsome man in a tailored suit walks up the steps to his office at Via Palestro 20. He is Maurizio Gucci, the last heir of the Gucci fashion dynasty. Suddenly, a hand appears from the shadows. 3 gunshots ring out. Bang, bang, bang. And a final 4th shot to the temple, the coup de grace. The doorman watches in horror as the killer calmly steps into a waiting getaway car. The Gucci family saga ended in blood. But to understand why, we have to go back 100 years to a much quieter place, to a hotel lobby in London. In 1897, a young Italian man named Guccio Gucci was working as a luggage porter at the Savoy Hotel. He wasn't rich. He washed dishes and carried bags. But as he carried the expensive leather trunks of kings, queens, and aristocrats like Marilyn Monroe and Winston Churchill, he noticed something. He saw how much they valued quality. He saw that luggage wasn't just a container, it was a status symbol. He returned to Florence, Italy with a vision. In 1921, he opened a small shop selling fine leather goods. He hired the best Tuscan artisans. The smell of high-quality leather filled the streets. The House of Gucci was born. The Golden Age and the Bamboo Bag. Guccio had 3 sons, Aldo, Vasco, and Rodolfo. But it was Aldo Gucci who had the business brain. While his father wanted to stay small and exclusive in Florence, Aldo wanted the world. Against his father's wishes, Aldo opened a shop in Rome. Then he did the unthinkable. He expanded to New York City. It was the 1950s, the jet-set era. Gucci positioned himself as the ultimate souvenir for wealthy Americans visiting Italy. But then World War II caused a shortage of leather. A crisis? No. An opportunity. Gucci artisans improvised. They heated and bent Japanese bamboo cane to create bag handles. The bamboo bag became an instant icon. Elizabeth Taylor carried one. Grace Kelly carried one. Then came the Gucci loafer. It was the only shoe comfortable enough to wear in an airport, but elegant enough to wear in a boardroom. John F. Kennedy wore them. By the 1970s, Gucci was untouchable. It was the definition of Italian cool. But behind the closed doors of the family villas, a war was brewing. Boardroom brawls. The Gucci family had a motto, family first. But in reality, their motto was, scream at each other until someone wins. Board meetings were legendary. They didn't just scream, they threw ashtrays, they threw Gucci bags at each other's heads. The main conflict was between Aldo, the builder, and his brother Rodolfo, the actor who wanted to keep things traditional. But the real betrayal came from the next generation. Paolo Gucci, Aldo's son, wanted to launch his own cheap line of goods under the Gucci name. The family said no. Paolo was furious. In an act of supreme spite, Paolo did something unforgivable. he went to the American authorities and handed over documents proving that his own father, Aldo, now 81 years old, had evaded $7 million in taxes. Aldo Gucci, the man who built the empire, was sent to federal prison, betrayed by his own flesh and blood. The family was crumbling, and waiting in the wings to pick up the pieces was Rodolfo's son, Maurizio.
Enter Lady Gucci. Maurizio was shy. He was the only child of Rodolfo. He wasn't interested in business until he met Patrizia Reggiani. Patrizia was everything Maurizio wasn't. She was loud, colorful, and hungry for status. She looked like Elizabeth Taylor. Rodolfo warned his son. "She is a social climber. She is vulgar. If you marry her, I will disinherit you." Maurizio didn't listen. He was in love. He married Patrizia. And for a while, they were the golden couple. They spent money like water. They bought a 200-foot yacht called the Creole. They had penthouse apartments in New York and Milan. Patrizia famously said in a TV interview, "I would rather weep in a Rolls-Royce than be happy on a bicycle." But as Maurizio took control of the company after his father died, things changed. He wasn't a good businessman. He was spending more than the company was making. The brand was losing its shine. You could buy cheap Gucci lighters at gas stations. The exclusivity was gone. Patrizia tried to advise him. She wanted to be the queen of Gucci. But Maurizio grew tired of her control. One day, he packed a suitcase, told her he was going on a business trip, and never came back. He sent a friend to tell her, "I want a divorce." The end of the family. The divorce was bitter. Patrizia was humiliated. She lost her title. She was no longer Mrs. Gucci. Meanwhile, Maurizio was destroying the company. By 1993, Gucci was nearly bankrupt. Maurizio had no choice. He sold his remaining 50% stake to Infocorp, a Bahrain-based investment group. For the first time in Gucci history, the House of Gucci had no Gucci family members left. Patrizia was furious. She felt Maurizio had sold her children's birthright. And then the final straw. Maurizio planned to marry his new, younger girlfriend, Paola Franchi. If they married, Patrizia's alimony would be cut in half, and worse, another woman would take her place in society. Patrizia started asking everyone, her butcher, her grocer, her psychic, "Is there anyone who has the courage to kill my husband?" Most people thought she was joking, but her psychic friend, Pina Auriemma, knew she wasn't. Pina found a mechanic named Benedetto Ciraulo who was willing to do the job. The price? About $400,000. The aftermath and Tom Ford. Back to the steps on Via Palestro. Maurizio is dead. Patrizia wrote one word in her diary that day: Paradisos, paradise in Greek. She thought she had won, but she was not a criminal mastermind. She was arrested 2 years later. The trial was a media circus. She wore head-to-toe Gucci to court every day. The press called her the Black Widow. She was sentenced to 29 years in prison. But while the family was destroying itself, the brand was reborn. Infocorp hired a young, unknown Texan designer named Tom Ford. Tom Ford didn't care about the family drama. He cared about sex. He reinvented Gucci. He made it sleek, sexy, and provocative. Madonna wore it on the red carpet. Sales exploded. Under Tom Ford and CEO Domenico De Sole, Gucci became the hottest brand in the world again, without a single Gucci family member involved. Today, Gucci is a multi-billion-dollar giant owned by Kering. Patrizia was released from prison in 2016. When a reporter asked her why she hired a hitman instead of shooting Maurizio herself, she replied, "My eyesight is not so good. I didn't want to miss." This is Para Chronicle.